it's a mindset shift, creating inner peace, which we all know inner peace is very, very much close to my heart. But sometimes there can be a little bit of charge around this idea of just having some peace. So we encourage our listeners to rate themselves, and then we're going to check in again with you at the end of our conversation to see, did it shift up or down? There is no right or wrong here. It's just about really being open to your own truth and feeling your way through that. That in itself creates inner peace, doesn't it?
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, dear Deb. Hello, listeners.
Hi.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Wait for the moment. Da-da-da. Hi.
Here we are with another deliciously motivated mindset conversation. I love having these conversations, and we really do hope that they deliciously motivate you and get a mindset of goodness, yumminess. That's the delicious.
I like to think
part.
they do. Yeah, deliciously motivated.
Yeah. Before we get into our topic for today, we like to do rating ourselves. And this is just, where are you at in your mind, in your emotions, just to have some awareness. And we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. So 0 is where you're just completely peaced out, 0 for Zen, and 10 is you're sitting in the corner, rocking away, wondering, oh my God, how on earth can I deal with this? And I don't know what to do. And, and so we move up and down this scale throughout our day, depending on what's going on internally and externally. So where would you put yourself today, Debz?
I'm going to say a 2.
Okay.
Which is, I'm going to say a 2. We haven't really solved the universe on our pre-call, did we? Usually we have
no
universe's problems where we try and solve them before we go live, but I haven't done that, but I actually felt quite centered coming into this already.
Yeah.
And it's morning for me and late afternoon for Moira too.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I've only been up a couple of hours.
Well, and so you're putting yourself at a 2.
A 2, yes.
I'm going to put myself at a 1, I think. I'm feeling pretty good. I've had a really good day. It's going very fast. But I like to I rate myself too because I think about what it is we're going to talk about. And so then there's a little part of me that goes, oh, what are we going to discover here? What we want to discuss today is it's a mindset shift, creating inner peace, which we all know inner peace is very, very much close to my heart. But sometimes there can be a little bit of charge around this idea of just having some peace. So we encourage our listeners to rate themselves, and then we're going to check in again with you at the end of our conversation to see, did it shift up or down? There is no right or wrong here. It's just about really being open to your own truth and feeling your way through that. That in itself creates inner peace, doesn't it?
I was just going to say, but also if you're finding during our call today, during our podcast, if you just go, oh, they said something I didn't like, and you'll feel yourself go from maybe a 2 to an 8, that's okay. Just go, what did they say?
Yeah.
what did they say that actually just really challenged me? Because this is, if you can regulate your emotions, you can definitely get through life. I'm not going to say a lot easier. Well, yeah, it is easier. You're actually going to be able to control your world around you.
Absolutely. And flow with it rather than get a little sticky, right?
So that's why one of the beautiful things about doing this is actually looking to see what is going on. And so if you do find there is something that challenges you, go, oh, what did they say? Let me just zoom back on that and just have a little listen and go, what actually really frustrated me about that? That took me from that 2 to 8.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
We would love you to get into that. Yeah, we'd love to get you into the habit of doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And understand that all emotions are impermanent. So if you did go, oh, I'm feeling really frustrated, keep breathing. And like you just said, Deb, just check in and say, well, what was that? What was that triggered me or put a drop in my own space of peacefulness or whatever it was you were feeling.
And if you're in an 8 and you suddenly went to a 2, what did we say?
Yeah.
That went, oh, that's a great one.
Absolutely.
You'll notice yourself as well.
Yeah. So how would you describe inner peace? What does that mean to you?
Well, I struggle with the word peace. Here we go. Deborah opens the door. I struggle with the word peace because my picture of peace is no one around, just nothing, no noise, just complete. Like you're sitting in the desert and there's nothing around. Nothing can get to you like that there. But I think that I'm not going to say unrealistic, but I would say instead of peace, I would say something along the lines of sanctuary, inspiration, harmony. There's just something around that word peace that makes me go, ugh. And I don't know if it's because I've come from that corporate world that now I'm starting to go, oh, wow, there's a lot more out there to look at. So instead of being black and white, I'm trying to put this properly, instead of being black and white thinking like it's this way, not the other way, it's actually, okay, so when someone says that, what does that mean to them? What does that mean to me? Yeah. Maybe I take 20% of what they're saying and leave the other 80%. Maybe I take, so when someone's saying peace, to me, they're saying that's 100% that way. But for me, I'm now going, okay, what does that actually mean for me? So there's just an emotional charge around the word peace for me. So if I was to say creating inner sanctuary, someone will go, well, that's the same thing. Or creating inspiration is the same as peace, or harmony. And I'm like, okay, well, that's your word, but that's my word. So I struggle with that word peace. And Moira's like, oh, wow, okay, we didn't know that was coming out.
Didn't know that that's where we were going.
Yeah, and we love the topic. So if I was to say create inner harmony or create inner sanctuary, which is the same word anyway, there's just something about that P word, I would say.
But and I get that, because so I don't have that kind of charge around the word peace.
I don't know where my words. I don't know where it's come from. Okay. I don't know where it's come from, because I've gone and I've reflected on this, and then I've gone, no, that's not it, and I've thrown it away until it goes into that little glittery box, until someone says peace, and I go, okay, it's time to figure that one out. But I've never unpacked it. So maybe this is what. Maybe this is mindset shift, creating inner peace. Maybe help me unpack that word peace, Moira. Maybe there's that mindset shift going.
I think that see peace. To me, peace means the absence of conflict.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Okay. I like that. I'm just going to write that down. I'm going to write that down in pink, actually.
I like that.
See?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the absence. So if you think, I think to myself about inner peace is if you think about the peaceful, calm water. So within you, there's no conflict. So there's no waves on that pond. It's calm water. But the other part that I feel into with my concept of inner peace is that sometimes there's going to be pebbles dropped into that pond. that still doesn't necessarily mean conflict, but there will be ripples.
Oh, I like this.
You see? So that's why that's what this, for me, this is what the mindset shift is that creating inner peace is your birthright, number one.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to have that sense of inner calm, of inner emotional resilience even. But it's to understand, and this is how come that 0 to 10 scale is such an important piece, right? Because inner peace is, you're not going to have it 100% all of the time, because you are going to get triggered. You are going to have to overcome challenges or face certain things that maybe you don't like doing, or you know what I'm saying? It's like this part of human life.
So when peace, would you say that is complete presence? Because I would say that's complete presence when when you're just sitting, you're just present, and there's no future, no past. That would be your peace spot.
Yeah.
PEACE, not PIECE.
Yes, that kind of peace. Peace, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really love that absence of conflict. I really love that, because so now when I hear the word peace, apart from when you said peace before, I thought of a piece of cake.
That would give you some inner peace too. Piece of cake.
Like, there's some peace.
That's piece of cake.
Peace. When you said peace after saying that absence of conflict, because that's repeating in my head. Mm-hmm. I don't have an emotional charge on that word peace now.
Awesome.
Because when you said absence of conflict, I went, oh, that makes sense. So it makes me wonder what I actually label peace as. Like, I know, but then the absence of conflict, which is presence to me, because there's no fear, there's no frustration. You just is. You just are.
You just is.
You just is. And when you just said peace, my body didn't feel that, oh, there's that bloody word again.
Right. Well,
because
that's pretty awesome. So that's a mindset shift right there.
Yeah, I've got my goosies all over my body now. That's just shifted it straight away. So when people say peace, because I was listening to you saying peace, and my body just didn't respond, whereas before it had locked up and gone, ugh. Mm-hmm. Absence of conflict. I love that. Okay, you can just carry on. I'm just going to sit back and listen to Moira. She's going to shift my mindset on this one. Oh, wow, that's really interesting.
The thing that you said earlier in our conversation here too, though, about the inviting our listeners to check in when you get triggered and just sit with it. It's like having that, because this is the other part of inner peace to me, is to have kind of like a light hold on, maybe I am feeling a little bit discombobulated or a little bit stressed out, or I'm comparing myself to somebody. Oh, they've got more peace than I do.
Well, that's accountability and acknowledgement, isn't it?
Yes.
So what you're saying is that's a part of peace as well, because you're actually stepping up. Yeah, it's not that 100% sweet spot of presence, but it's also just being and going, okay, well, I can recognize that.
Yeah.
Before you get on that hamster wheel and go, how do I fix it? What do I do? Who do I need to have around me? What tools do I need? Because that's not peace.
That's not peace. But do you know the other part about all of this too is about being gentle with yourself. Like you were just saying. So if you're in a situation where you get triggered and then you go, oh my God, what's wrong with me? And what do I have to do to fix? You're running away from inner peace.
Yeah.
Whereas if you could just say, okay, this is what I'm feeling. Tell yourself the truth. This is what I'm feeling. This is where I am on that scale, the rating system. Now, can I just be kind? Can I be gentle? Can I just bring my awareness fully into this moment and breathe and breathe and breathe?
See, look how quick that is. Look how quick that is just to sit.
Mm-hmm.
just to sit and I'm just looking at my notes here, and my notes clearly say mindset shift, creating inner peace, and then absence of conflict. But I'm just looking at it going, when I first wrote that down, I went, oh, I love this mindset shift, creating inner peace, and then went, oh, that word peace just annoyed me. And I'm just reading it now, and it just feels peace.
It feels peace. That's awesome. But
Yeah.
you see, that's the thing. And that, so we could take that absence of conflict a step further and say it's an absence of internal conflict, right? So
Well, it is all actually, everything is your freaking internal.
That's right. That's exactly
because what
it.
you say
Yes.
is external, and it can either come into my bubble,
Yep.
into my little snow globe, or
Yep.
not.
Or
and
not.
if I let it filter into my snow globe, it's my inner. But if it doesn't get into my snow globe, it's nothing.
It just sails on by, right?
Yeah.
It just kind of like an example of that is you might witness somebody having a tirade or reacting in a certain way and getting angry about something, for instance. When you're cultivating your own space of inner peace, you can just kind of go, oh, well, that's an interesting way of reacting. And it doesn't do anything to you, right? Because you can hold space and bear witness to other people's emotions and not take them, it's not about you. And when you're resilient within you, right?
A great one of that is actually watching a TV program or watching a movie or something, and you're going, wow, I wouldn't react like that. Oh, yeah, wow, look at the way they react. So it just puts you into a completely different space of, oh, wow, I wouldn't have thought that was such a big thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those kind of things are a lovely visit. And it's just like, wow, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
And then it just floats on by, right?
Yeah. It is all inner. Anything you have to do with yourself is your inner work. People say do your outer work, and it's like going to the gym and working on your body, and people go, oh yeah, I've got to look, my body's got to look right, or everything. It's all inner as well, because you're actually transforming your muscles that you can't see. That's under there, or you're transforming your liver, or your whatever you're doing. It's still your inner. You're like, no, but it's my physical. It's like, no, it's not. It's your inner.
It's your mindset. It's your, well, that's that saying about when you want to see certain things around you, that's the macro. The micro is the inner. And so if you want to see peace and harmony and balance and wellness and well-being, it all starts internally first. Right?
So we know that to shift anything in your world, your physical or your mental, you must have a mindset shift. Like that's no, well, I'm going to say no-brainer, but to people it may not be, but it's added as now everybody is a no-brainer. You must change your mindset to shift anything.
Yeah.
I was talking about this the other day, but so you can meditate all you want. You can meditate all you want to anything, but there has to be action behind that meditation, because you're not going to meditate and stuff's going to happen. You're going to get ideas, and then you have to go into that action.
That's right.
So the first step one is shift your mindset. Yeah. Get that presence, figure out what it is, think what it is, and then take action on it. So it's not just sit, get present, what's the issue, and bam, it's changed. If only we could take that red pill and life just changes. No,
there's the magic wand.
Yeah, there you go. Ta-ding. Yeah. Oh wow, that was easy, thanks very much. No, you've got to take action, and you've got to be prepared for the highs and lows. You've got to be prepared for whatever's going to come your way. Right. And I think that's the thing that stops us, or fear that makes us not move forward, would be it. But what tools do people use for mindset shifts, and how do you tell people what they are? So one of my things is I definitely say gratitude. Be grateful.
Yeah.
But if someone's in a tornado, I'm not going to say, oh, what are you grateful for? I'm not, I'll tell you what, that tornado is going to come out and probably punch me in the nose.
Right, they're going to bop you on the head for that one.
There's a time and a place to drop your golden nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can shift, and the gratitude may not work right there and then. Holding space, holding their hand, just looking at them, that may be the best option right there and then. So let us know what people use for their mindset shifts, and does it work for you? Does it work for others? What do they do? But I know what you're going to say, Moira. I'm going to say, what's your favorite one? I know your favorite one because it's the one that you told me, and I just share it with everybody.
Yeah, the hand over your heart and take a deep breath.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because you see, there's a couple of reasons as to why that is so powerful. Is the actual act of placing your hand over your heart brings your awareness right here. Yeah. So I live here. I live here. But you see, if you're in a tornado of emotional chaos, you probably are not completely present to it, because there might be fear, there might be anger, there might be irritation type of thoughts or feelings. Whereas if you just put your hands over your heart, take a couple of deep breaths, and just maybe after that, you could ask yourself, what can I do right now? Rather than, I can't do this and that.
But don't force the answer. No. Because what can I do right now? Or what's the message for me right here? And it doesn't come straight away, don't go, come on, hurry up.
Yeah, well,
don't do a Deborah.
If you do that, you'll keep it away anyway, right? Because that's a resistance. It's like, no, so what can I do right now? And then surrender to the space that you need to sit in to receive that guidance. And the guidance could be move your body, take a drink of water, go outside, call a friend.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
I love and so the thing is just shift wherever you are. So if you're sitting down and you're frustrated, stand up.
Yeah. Stand up and put your hand on your hip. That's a nice power.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Yeah. But I mean, they're just little things. What did I say to someone the other day? Someone was saying their routine is so boring, so mundane. They're doing the same thing. I said, well, have you cleaned your teeth with your left hand? Why would I want to do that? I said, try that. I said, learn a new skill. Learn something they're like, why would I want to do it with my left hand? I said, well, you try and put toothpaste on with your left hand onto your toothbrush, see how much you squeeze out, and then try and clean your teeth. There's just these little different things to flip your mind around. So your mind is constantly stimulated if you don't want to do anything. They're like, you're just weird, Deborah. And I'm like, I know
I would tell somebody to do that too.
I know.
I totally would.
Well, have you ever tried wiping your bum with your left hand if you're right-handed? Because when I had an injury and I had to do that, I was like, oh, hang on, I don't even know where my parts are. Like, that's not good.
I had to do that when I had my broken arm many years ago, so I can relate.
I know. but it just shifts your energy, and it makes you think about something else. There's just just stand up. If you're frustrated and you're sitting down, stand up, face the other way. Don't put your shoes on straight away when you get up. Don't do that whole routine. If you want something different, just start with don't have to go out.
That's it. You know what that reminds me of is that I think that's an Einstein thing, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Ah, yes. Actually, yes, you're right.
Doing the same mundane routine over and over again, that you're not going to get a different result. You're not going to suddenly go, I love doing it this way.
Yeah, I've done it this way for 20 years, and now I love it. No.
Not really. It's not going to happen.
Unless
But
you've done some mindset work around it.
that's very true.
Gratitude and the rest.
Gratitude and acceptance and some awareness in there. But I love that thing of doing things with your non-dominant hand, because I don't know about you, but when I've decided to do that, it makes it, I start laughing. Right?
Have you ever
like
tried
you say,
using scissors? If you're right-handed, have you ever tried cutting things with left-handed with your scissors in your left hand?
Yeah.
It's
just But like you say, it starts to
Well, it changes your energy.
It makes me laugh. It does change your energy. And it
You
gets
actually
you right here, because you have to really pay attention, because you don't want toothpaste up your nose.
But even squeezing the toothpaste tube out, like because you like, and then you're like, hang on, how did that happen? And then you've used too much toothpaste. I get really cranky if I use too much toothpaste. I'm like, oh my God, Deborah.
Oh dear.
But these are the things that can stimulate your mind. And so, like you say, you laugh. You actually have to laugh.
You do.
You have to laugh at I'm going to say the stupidity. You have to laugh at the stupidity. You have to laugh at the stuff and go, oh my God, here I was worried about this thing, and now I've got toothpaste or whatever. And you look at it and you go, do I use my toothbrush and scrape it off, or do I? Like, there's a whole mindset analogy. But I love that it's just things that are different. Mm-hmm. When I'm consulting, I don't just sit on my office chair. I stand and I'll walk around my office, sometimes or whatever. I don't just because I don't do video, I don't just sit there with my notes in front of me. I'll walk around my little office and then I'll write stuff down or whatever. Right. I just change the energy with me. And if I find I'm yawning, then there's real heavy energy going on. So for me, I have
processing.
So I have to change that, because they're probably still sitting in that. So I'm not going to say, right, I want you to stand up and walk, and they're like, yeah, but I can't because my phone's not a portable, whatever. So it's easier for me, and so I can shift the energy, and if I can shift that energy, that helps with the other person. So they are just they're just some techniques that are so easy to do.
But you know what, that one is what you're just saying too. That's a perfect example of you doing your inner work to then contribute or co-create the change in the bigger picture.
Bigger picture. I think it's just being one of the things I talked about with the client yesterday. She was saying that when her daughter loses it, her daughter's 7, and when her daughter loses it, she just loses it. And I was like, okay, so what does she do? She goes, well, I'm scared she's going. I said, what's the worst can happen? She goes, well, she's going to put a hole in the wall when she punches the wall. She's 7. I said, okay, and what about? And she goes, but she might break the bed. And so every time she said something, I said, what's the worst can happen?
Right.
What's the worst can happen? Yeah. And she started going, well, actually, if she put a hole in the wall, so be it. Like, it can be fixed. If she broke the bed, she has to have a broken bed. If she broke the tablet, she can't use the home one. She has to use. Yeah. And she was just like, so really, I said, all you've got to do is when she has these tantrums, like we all do, is just make sure she's got a safe space. Like, she's not going to. And if she punches a wall and hurts her wrist, then you have to go to A&E, and she'll have to say, this is what's happened or whatever. Yeah. And, but what's the worst can happen? What's the worst?
That's actually really so important. I do that with my clients too, is if they're really worried about something, I actually will get them to visualize. What I say to them is like, okay, it's happened. Worst case scenario.
Then they're like, whoa, hang on, you could have warned me. You're taking me there, Moira. Hang on.
But you see, when they're in it, I'll say, okay, visualize that you've lost the client, or you didn't pay your mortgage, or whatever it is, right? Didn't have enough money. You didn't, whatever it is, right? Just go visualize it now. And so once they're in it, then I say, so what would you do? And they always say, oh, well, then I'd do this.
Isn't it? They come up with the quickest answers just like that. And I know they don't go, I don't know. Well, sometimes they go, I don't know. And you're like, okay, what do you know? Like, because that's our standard process. I don't know. well, there are no benefits in that, or standard answer. And then you go, okay, think again. And then they're like, oh, this. But they come
or
up
you
with
can
it.
say, if you did know, what would it be?
Yeah, that's
They say, I
you've
don't know.
done,
And you say, if you did know, what would it be?
you've done that one on me. If you did know what you're like, oh, I'd do this, and this. And then you're like, and then you hear yourself say it and you're like, really? I was so worried about that. You've
Exactly.
just got, but we all, and that's that. Well, that's part of inner peace, because
It
that's your
absolutely is.
answers. The
Yeah.
answers already are sitting there. So yeah, it's quite a funny one. Like, what? Yeah, but it's what's the worst could happen? Like, seriously, what's the worst could happen?
Truly, and that's perfect. And so and now that client that you're talking about, she can walk away and say, and this is what my invitation is when I get people to entertain the worst case scenario is, so now stop putting energy into all the things you don't want, because you then trust yourself that, you know what, if it happens, I can deal with it.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Well, if that happens, then that's an easy fix. That's just done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. What's the worst can happen? So our mindset shifts. I think I say this pretty much every call. It may not work today, what you're using, but it may work tomorrow. So
right.
don't get used to the same. Don't clean your teeth with your right hand every day. Don't get used to the same, because it's around evolving and shifting and stepping up into the next one. So what worked for you 6 months ago may not work for you now. But how often do people say to you, oh, have you heard the book, or have you read? So someone said to me recently, just last week, did you ever see the movie The Secret? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, I've been watching that. It's got these golden nuggets. And I had to giggle, because the very next day I moved a thing in my bookshelf, as I'm pointing to my bookshelf, and there's The Secret sitting there. And isn't it funny that I heard about The Secret 15, 16, 17 years ago and started watching and went, oh my God, I couldn't do it. And then 5 years later, I watched and went, oh my God, this has got some great golden nuggets. Now I don't know if I'd go back to it, but how often do people say to you, oh, have you read this book? Have you heard this book? And you don't do it.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, a year later, 5 years, 10, 20 years later, someone goes, oh, you'd love this book, or you'd love this person. You're like, oh my God, I heard about that. Yeah. And that's okay. So that's part of the mindset shift. You weren't ready to hear that.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Message back then.
Yeah.
So you may have watched The Secret and written three different notes, but now 10 years later, if you watch The Secret, you would pick up different things because your mind is very different.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm saying that is to say that what worked for you back then may not work for you now, because you are sitting in whatever space you're sitting in. Exactly. So don't beat yourself up that you missed it back then. Yeah. Or whatever. It just means you needed another reminder to go, okay, now's the time for you to listen.
And that's kind of what I was referencing when I said about being gentle. How can I be gentler with myself here? Because if you get stuck on I'm going to do this technique because this technique is supposed to help create more inner peace, or this is the routine that I need for a mindset shift, and it doesn't do it, that's okay. Breathe through it. How can you be gentle and say, what's the different, maybe I need to go for a walk instead, or go pet my cat, or right?
Or just clean my teeth with the left hand.
Clean your teeth with your left hand. Just to change things up, because the answer that you're looking for in that moment is actually there.
Oh, it is there, but we choose not to see it often.
That's right. It's like we have to change the channel a wee bit, right? That's the beautiful thing about using your non-dominant hand, for instance. I actually do that, on purpose, where, when you're walking, we all have a dominant foot, dominant leg. Yes. So I will make sure that I lead with my left foot every so often, just to, balance that.
Well, my daughter won't walk with me anymore because comes a Debz story, because when we used to walk, you walk around the neighborhood or whatever, and all of a sudden you discover that you're walking, your steps are in sync.
Right.
And so both our right foots would go forward, both our left foots go forward. And it would just always amuse me. So I would just try and do this little skip and try and do the opposite way. And she'd go, what are you doing? And I go, oh, I'm just making sure we're not in sync. And she'd just roll her eyes and keep walking. And then I'd see us back in sync again. And so I'd stop it again. She's like, Mum, I'm not, my daughter's just turned 21. Mum, I'm not walking with you if you're going to walk like a, da-da-da-da. To be like, skipping. Why? But there's just something about trying, and I would be aware. And so I would say, I'm present. She's like, no, you're not present. This is not present. And I'm like, it is. I'm following my sinking of my feet. But I would just try and do something different. And it just became amusing until she stopped walking with me. That's okay. But it's just those little things of putting something quirk into your day that's different.
Yeah.
One day my daughter's going to appreciate all those things.
Just like do a little skip. I think having a little skip is a great thing. I can remember times that I used to do this. If I was going grocery shopping with somebody else and they were pushing the cart, then I would go up and down the aisles swinging my arms and clap them behind and behind me and in front of me. Just why not?
I'm not allowed to push the trolley because I Zoom.
Oh.
I Zoom, and my part I'm banned from the supermarket. Not literally banned, but for her, because I'll go and I'll never get anything on the list. I'll forget the things on the list, and then I'll also Zoom. I'll just lift and Zoom. Yeah,
that's funny.
But so going back to mindset shift, there's lots of tools and techniques we have. And it's just what works for you and what doesn't. I've just gone back to my little piece of paper here saying mind shift, creating inner peace. And I don't have that charge around peace.
I'm thrilled. That's really awesome.
Yeah. And so when I see that, I guess I obviously set the intention in my mind. I set the intention that I'm going to figure out what is this about the peace word. I did actually say that. I said,
you did.
Maybe I'm going to unpack that. But look how quick that was for me to not overanalyze. And it's just like, okay. And I guess that's the trust word too.
Yes.
Because I trust that, okay, well, whatever comes out. And you actually said something at the start. You said, wonder what we're going to talk about, or wonder how this goes on a tangent or something. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Unpack.
Yeah.
So when we think about that, I don't have that emotional charge about peace. Now, there's nothing specifically I did. I overworked. I trusted it was going to work. And you just said 3 words: an absence of conflict.
Yeah. And that's how subtle and how quick our mindset challenges can be shifted, right?
So that's why if you go, what's the answer, or what do I need to do, and you don't get it, don't force that hamster on the wheel.
Yeah. Don't get stuck looping around.
No.
Damn it, I have to get the answer right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's an exercise that I was given by Dr. DeMartini, and if you're in the shower, you drop your arms down and you tilt your head back, and you roll your eyes like they're going into the back of your head, and the water hits the back of your neck. If you've got long hair, you must put your hair up, because otherwise I just get really frustrated. And I just say, do you have a message for me?
Nice.
And it's just such a beautiful thing that you can do in the morning or night, and it can give you a message, and sometimes you can get a tear and sometimes you don't. But I used to go, hurry up, I haven't got time for this. Come on, you're wasting my power. You're wasting my hot water. Come on, I haven't got time. I've got a million things to do in this crazy, crazy mind of mine. But if you're forcing that, it ain't going to happen. We know that. But that's just another little thing that the universe gives me my message. And I say, some people say, dear God or whatever, universe, whatever. I just, or you can just say,
source energy, universe.
Yeah. Do you have a message for me? Or something along those, whatever sits. But that's just another way of getting yourself present and trusting that it's going to work. But there's lots of different things.
I actually have a practice every morning that it's usually after I've worked out or done some physical activity, then I take a deck of cards and I sit and shuffle it and basically say, what's my energy today?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then kind of meditate on whatever card came up.
Of course, yeah,
Of
you would do
course I
that.
do.
Yeah, of course
I
you'd do
would.
that. Of course I would. Yeah. Wow. Is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap up today?
No, I think I love this. I love how real we got with the whole idea of inner peace, and just really getting into that idea of inner peace is like the calm pond within you, but understand that you're going to get ripples in it. And so it's just to be able to ease through with resilience that, sometimes you're at a 10. That doesn't mean inner peace is not out of your reach. It just means you got to sit with kindness and gentleness and say, that's where I'm at right now.
Be okay with not being okay.
Yeah.
As such.
Yes, absolutely. Well said.
Woohoo. I'm really grateful for today, because it just shifted that word, and my body does give me a lot of symptoms on any emotional charge, highs or lows. So and I just keep looking at the peace, and I don't feel that chaotic
That's awesome.
coming up that Moira didn't even know before we started that call. Yep, just drop that one on her. So thank you for that. So Moira, you were you're a one, weren't you? Yeah. So listeners, where are you at now? What number are you at? So Moira, what number are you?
I'm a 0. Are you surprised?
No, I'm a 0 too. I'm a 0 as well.
Yeah, because you were a 2.
I went from a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that word
Beautiful.
peace. I'm looking at it. Wow, listeners, thank you very much for joining Debz and Moira. Debz being me, Moira being that one.
This would be me.
with our deliciously motivated mindset. Talking today about mindset shift, creating inner peace. So let us know what you enjoyed about it. Let us know what you didn't enjoy. Let us know your numbers, and gratitude to Moira for unpacking this, and gratitude to the listeners for allowing me to unpack our thoughts today.
Yes. Awesome. It's been a good conversation. Thanks, Deb.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.